Dom has called from Salford, though, to carry on our conversation about the defence announcement. Hello, Dom.
Afternoon, Sheila. How are you? Okay?
I'm fine, thanks, yeah.
Good. Basically, I just wanted to call in regarding the question you asked about would we fight for our country?
Yeah.
Now, just for context, I am 25 years old. I'm from Manchester, and I am mixed race. I'm half Pakistani and I'm half English.
Yeah.
Now, when I was ending my time in high school, around 14, 15, 16, I was heavily considering a future in the armed forces.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Sandringham, train as an officer, and that was dead set on what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at that same time, the Brexit conversation was starting to become big in the UK. You had UKIP really coming to the forefront, and I'd always described myself as a very patriotic person. I was raised by the white side of my family. I considered myself British, English. If someone asked me where I was from, I would say Manchester. You know what I mean? Even when people
I'm a Salford boy, you would say. Salford boys, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm from Bury originally.
Okay.
So shout out to Bury there.
Yeah.
But basically, when that period of time came about and I felt that hatred that I hadn't really felt for a long time until since I was very young, kind of come back to the country.
Yeah.
I had to really reconsider how I felt towards dying for a country that seemed like it didn't really want me in it.
Yeah.
And I think you'll find a lot of young people feel a similar way, and it's not just based off what race they may be or the religion or anything like that. I think just a lot of people look at the people who've had control of this country for the past 15 years and go, well, they don't care about me. You know what I mean? Like, we have no public funding for all the important things. So if they don't care about the NHS, they're not going to care about a soldier they're putting on the front lines. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. And did you hear my guest, Major General Tim Cross, saying that he regards leadership as being about service and care, first of all?
Definitely.
And you feel that service and care is absent for young people from the country that they live in?
I could not agree with the Major General more, especially when he was talking about, I can't remember exactly what he said, but it's around the apathy that young people feel towards this country at the moment. I mean, the irony of it is now, 10 years ago, I was looking to sign up and die for my country, and now I'm trying to get an Irish passport because I don't want to be a part of this country anymore. I mean, I've always been a politically...
Is your mum's side of the family Irish?
Well, my grandparents, their heritage is Irish.
Were they born there?
So, no, unfortunately, that's what I mean. I'm in the process of trying. I know. And this is my worry. Basically, I'd like to move to Spain to just try and find better opportunities and maybe a little bit of sun. And I can't do that because, again, the people who lead this country decided to rile everyone against minorities and get us out of Brexit. Yeah, get us out of the EU. Do you know what I mean?
That's just, your experience is so interesting. So you're talking about over a decade ago, pretty much now, aren't we? 2016. So you would have been a teenager then, and in that decade, your sense of belonging to the UK has it died completely?
It's completely evaporated. I'll be honest with you. I being of a mixed heritage, I am around people from all types of places in the world. Spend a lot of my time in Cheetham Hill in Manchester, which is I think it is the most multicultural place in Europe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure another caller will do. And I speak to a lot of my friends are Muslims. A lot of my friends are North Africans, Arabs specifically. And I used to argue with them all the time. They used to be like, nah, this country, it's not for us, mate. They don't want us here. And I used to be like, nah, mate, that's the whole point of being British.
Well, hang on. Let me try. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I really do. Trust me. Let's see if we can reignite I'm no flag waver of any country, so I'm not talking about that. But let me see if we can reignite some love or when I say gratitude, I mean being grateful, not gratitude because you.
Don't worry.
I mean I am grateful that that particularly as a woman,
listen,
I am grateful that I live in a
country.
Yeah, I'm grateful that I live in a country where I am free, where I can say what I like, where I
100%.
have opportunities. But I get that lots of people are feeling they don't have an opportunity and are struggling to find an opportunity. I'm not making light of that at all. But let's see what you've got. Education. You had a decent education, did you? Yeah.
I studied. I did my GCSEs. I went to college, and that was where I was planning to build up the UCAS points to be able to go to Sandringham. At that same time, where my faith in this country kind of dissipated, my faith in the education system, my faith in the opportunities that were available. You know, I'm from a what you would probably describe as a lower income family. And at the time, especially under that Conservative government, it started to feel as if anything I did would be pointless anyway.
Who or what made you feel that?
You know what? It's hard to explain because there's probably tons of factors at the time that affected how I felt towards it. But I just felt that there was a lack of opportunity, especially for people such as myself. And I'm not trying to cry, you know, pull the
no,
racism
and
card,
I'm not.
a lot of the bigots will say I'm trying to do.
No. I think your conversation is fantastic. I'm not trying to say that you're a moaner. I just think it's because I don't think you are. You don't sound like a moaner at all. I think it's really easy for us all to forget what we have when we're struggling to get the next thing, or some doors are being closed in our face, which clearly is how you feel, and have experienced perhaps. I'm not saying you're a moaner at all. I'm just trying to get a sense of when you lost that sense of there being opportunity, what was it that was happening around you that made you think, oh God, there's nothing here for me?
I think it was just mainly because of how interested in politics I was at the time, and I could see all the effects of austerity that, you had statistics like 150,000 people died as a result of austerity. You know, just the idea of that in my head, that in this beautiful country that I've been defending to all of my mates for years, anywhere in the world I will go, I'll tell them this is the best country in the world. And then we let 150,000 people starve because of austerity. Like, what is this as a nation anymore? I thought we were supposed to be the good guy. Like your last caller there, he's talking about how we're a kind nation and we're this and we're that. I mean, the irony of it, that a 50-odd-year-old man is saying that he will go and fight and die for this country when he knows full well he'll never have to make that decision. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just a talking point. And that's the thing.
Well, although, to be fair to him, he was still saying he would do whatever he was asked to do, even if that didn't involve fighting.
But Sheila, he's never going to be, so it doesn't matter. And that's the point. If he was my age and I knocked on his door right now as an army recruiter and said, listen, mate, we're going to war. Are you coming? He's not going to come. I promise you, Sheila, that 90% of people are not, especially a war that we don't feel like, World War II, it's a different situation. We have an ideology that we have to fight. The reality of it now, most young people are turned on enough mentally to understand that we're dying to be fodder for the military-industrial complex. What is the point?
Well, hang on, Dom, hang on.
Systems can make an extra £1 billion a year.
No. Hang on. There are a lot of events that could happen that would give the lie to what you've just said. If your family were physically threatened, or you found that a foreign actor, a foreign country, was finding all kinds of ways to attack the UK, i.e. you, me, your mum, your dad, your siblings, your mates, your neighbours. That's nothing to do with BAE Systems and the military complex. You and I would all have to respond somehow to that.
I understand what you're saying, but Sheila, can I just say, I feel more threatened here, honestly. When the riots happened in the summer, my partner is of Jamaican origin. I'm worried about her going to work now. I'm thinking, what if she works in the centre of Manchester? What if she walks through the riots and someone tries doing something? I'm not worried about, people in other countries. I'm really not. I'm worried about the hatred we have on our own shores. Now, a lot of the lads I grew up with, young white lads from the same poor background that I was from, I wouldn't describe these lads as racist. Yeah. But if I go back to Bury now and I ask them, they're all voting for reform, Sheila. They are. Yeah. And the reality of that is the people in charge of this country have poisoned the minds of the people who live here. The reality is...
Poison the minds, or... Hang on. Poison the minds or just let you down?
I
They're
think
two
one
very
leads to the
different
other.
things, aren't they?
I think first they let us down, and then to hide the fact that they've let us down, they point towards the you got to make a scapegoat of someone in it. So clearly, it's the brown people, it's the immigrants, it's these people. They're the ones that are the problem. Or Western values. Oh, that's the issue. It's the people who don't support Western.
Hang on. Of all the political parties, which is pointing to those more often than others? Would you say?
In terms of which is
Brown
blaming
faces
people the most?
and blaming people, yeah.
Well, it's reform and to a lesser extent the Conservative government. I mean, the last Conservative government.
Yet you're telling me that Bury is turning towards them. Young people like you in Bury are turning towards them.
Yeah, but there's a famous quote. I can't remember who said it, but and I'm paraphrasing. But it's
you sound like me.
yeah, there's most of us in it, just making it up on the spot. But no, there's a famous quote. I'll paraphrase, and it's something along the lines of when the current idea doesn't work, the next idea will be among notes just laying around at the time. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
there's nothing new under the sun. Maybe is that what you're thinking of?
It's along the lines of that. There is actually a quote. I heard it on Gary's Economics, a YouTube channel that I watch. But the reality of it is, if the current system doesn't work and the people within that system feel dejected, they will just pick whatever is the next biggest voice being shouted.
Dom, just because I have to go to the news, I have to finish. But this has been such an interesting conversation. And you know what I want to say to you? I want to say to you that if you can just try and get hold of a bit more optimism and positivity about the UK, you will be, if you stay here, absolutely invaluable to it.
Yeah, well, I would love to be, Sheila, but the reality of it is I'm getting out of here. I'm leaving.
That's such a shame to hear you say that. But I understand what you're saying to me, but I don't know, maybe you need 6 months in the army to convince you otherwise.
Maybe I just need 6 months of sun and I want to come back.
Oh, okay. In the Spanish army then, maybe. But yeah, listen, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, Dom. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thanks very much indeed. Thank you. You take care too. That's Dom in Salford.